I'm meteorologist John Dawson. This is the Fox 26 YouTube tropical update. And if you've been with us for this hurricane season, I'm thankful that you're a regular participant. You are here checking in on what's happening in the tropics. And it's good to know that we're kind of entering the last week of hurricane season. Today is the 23rd of November. We record these in the afternoon, and that means 7 whole days left of hurricane season for 2022. And as always, that doesn't mean we couldn't have something happening outside of the 6 months of the year that are officially hurricane season in the Atlantic Basin. But we're definitely looking at lower possibilities of that, and we'll talk about that a little bit more here in a minute. But a quick tour of what we look at here in that Atlantic Basin, starting with the Gulf of Mexico. Very quiet, not even a whole lot of shower activity happening. Same thing in the Caribbean. For the most part, very quiet, not much to even talk about. So overall, we look into the Atlantic, and that remains the same. We'll have a couple fronts that kind of are rolling in down again off the U.S., and those will kind of provide boundaries both in the Atlantic and in the Gulf where some showers and storms could form, but we're not looking really at any of that to get organized, and certainly not expected to take on those tropical characteristics. So we like it when the Hurricane Center putting out that messaging of no new tropical cyclones expected to form over the next 5 days, and that covers most of this week that we have left. So when we look at the year in itself, the entire year, again, we can't rule out that we could see a storm happening at any time during the year, a tropical cyclone, but it peaks, of course, in September and then heads downhill quite quickly. We're now finding ourselves in the last week of the season as it officially ends on November the 30th, and we will, again, not expect to see anything happening over the next 5 days, and we'll have our numbers, very statistically speaking, we don't see a lot of activity outside of this 6 months. That's why we have the hurricane season defined during these 6 months, and that's even why there's been discussions of perhaps starting it earlier than June the 1st, because again, June the 1st through November 30th. That's our official 6 months of the year. But we have begun to see more activity happening before June 1st into May. And so there is, it seems like in the last 5 to 6 years, always that discussion of perhaps maybe we should extend that hurricane season, make it more than just 6 months. Maybe we need to make it 7 months because of some of the changes that have been happening with the numbers that we're seeing. Nothing has happened on that yet. We'll expect next hurricane season to start on June the 1st. But just sort of, again, that discussion of things that are kind of happening and makes us kind of wonder if we need to kind of readjust some of our parameters that we set on things that when we have seasons like that are defined for sure. Hey, again, thanks for joining us here on YouTube. If you want to find me on social media and other places, it's at John Dawson Fox 26. Always appreciate new followers on Instagram, and that's also where I use the platform for that hurricane preparedness. Again, Instagram, I'm at John Dawson Fox 26. We'll be back here again tomorrow with another tropical update.